He was rude to Dolly Parton, which I believe is punishable by death. Nakedish.
That's cinema, baby.
Running a temporal pincer movement. What? Pincer movement. But not in space. In time. Rumsniff var åt med stängen upp. Ja,
Hello, and welcome to The Good, The Pod, The Ugly, Season 17, where we've been doing 4x4s, pairing 4 films by 4 different directors selected by your hosts. We're now in the tail end of that. We've been doing some 1x1s after a brief interlude with The Odyssey. So now we're on the third 1x1, and here we go. I'm Thomas.
I'm Meg.
I'm Andy, but where's Lee?
Wait, you guys aren't Ryan and Kit?
Well, you're also not Lee.
Oh.
Yeah, what's happening?
I think we're all disappointed.
Oh, what? Oh, wait, where's Lee?
Yeah.
Our coffee just kicked in. Hey, so welcome
done,
to
sir.
Andy. Thank you.
Well done, sir.
Welcome to Andy's pick for our 1x1, Still Magnolias.
Greatest movie ever.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it is the greatest movie ever.
Andrew, you don't have. I appreciate it for the podcast, for the bit, but you don't have to do a Southern accent this episode.
I'm sorry.
It's just not believable. I'm sorry. It's not.
I'm stuck with it.
It's not. So, Still Magnolias, 1989. First time watching Meg.
First time I watched it?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, is this your first time watching it?
Oh, no, I know this movie by heart.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
What's your experience with it then?
Well, I grew up in the South, and my mother had lady friends.
What's South?
Well, kind of all over, but you know that. A little Northeast Atlanta, a little Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
A little Clemson, South Carolina.
Okay, so that's like true South.
Yeah.
That's
a little Tampa, Florida, too, but we're not really counting that.
Yeah.
The South.
No.
Yeah. But I was down there for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so this is a person of a certain age has to watch this movie to maintain citizenship of the South.
Oh, I don't know if that's true. I just think any woman with woman friends would love this movie. Probably teenage years.
Okay. I'm just trying to so when you were born, they were like, you were born like in 89 probably. So they were like, came out watching this movie.
Yes, I'm 10. No, I did grow up watching the movie. It was on often. I think I probably watched it once a year, starting when I was 10.
Wow.
And
so you've watched it, let me see, once a year, whenever it is. So you've seen this like 11 times?
You're being really nice to me, Thomas. Yeah, but no, I love this movie. And I
Wait, you don't even give a reaction yet.
No.
We haven't done the plot. You're a horse way before the buggy there.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's required reading for any Southern lady, but I would say it is on the suggestion list.
Okay,
with fried green tomatoes.
And you are a Southern lady, and you've seen this multiple times.
Yes,
sounds like once a year,
at least.
And it's on TNN or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Or what was the country music television?
CMT.
Yeah, okay.
You get that or Footloose.
Yeah. You turn it on.
Footloose was always on.
Okay.
This was always on.
Andrew, have you ever seen this movie, Still Magnolias?
Yes. Yes. So I saw it. I don't think I saw it in the theater when it came out. I mean, I was 12, but I definitely saw it not long after it was out, probably whenever it was available to rent. Because I know my mom, this is like right up her alley, so she would have wanted to watch it, and I watched it with her.
So you probably
own the VHS.
I did on the VHS, yeah.
Okay. So you probably had to wait for electricity to come to Mississippi, and then you could watch it.
Tommy.
You know what? I can mute you, and I can just talk the rest of the time.
You sure can.
So watch out.
That is.
No, but yeah, I like Meg. I then saw it multiple times throughout the years on cable, and then I had my own copy because I loved it so much, so I could watch it whenever I wanted to.
Yeah. I guess, so 1989, we've covered a few other films on the podcast from this year.
Okay.
It sounds like both of you were alive in 1989, and you might have seen some of these. So I'm just going to run through them and just like a quick yes or no.
Okay.
The movie Always by Steven Spielberg.
Oh my God, yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
It's the I want to say the crop duster. He's a pilot, and it's really sad.
Yeah, and John Goodman's in it, and there's angels or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I think maybe I have, yeah.
Yeah.
But we also, that same year, Spielberg did The Last Crusade.
No.
Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, Indiana Jones, yes. I'm sorry. I thought it was a movie about the Crusades.
Oh.
I wasn't really into that when I was 12.
Okay, for the namesake, Clint Eastwood's Pink Cadillac.
No.
Oh,
I think
I
I've
don't
seen
think-
it since then, but I did not see it at the time.
Vampire's Kiss.
I'm unfamiliar.
Oh, it's a Nicolas Cage film where he
God.
recites the alphabet, the entire alphabet, because he's berating somebody for not putting something in alphabetical order.
I'd
He goes
rather
full
drive
Cage.
nails up my arm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, me too.
How about Dial Code for Santa / Game Over / Pierre Noel / Deadly Game / 3615 Dial Code Father Christmas?
Nobody knows what you're talking
I know what he's talking about. And I wish I had seen it back then, but I did not know about that movie until a few years ago.
But you have
But
seen
since
it.
then, I have seen it. We watch it every year at Christmas time.
Yeah. I showed it for my birthday. It is a parody. Well, it's not a parody. It actually precedes Home Alone, but it's like a French version, which is really dramatic.
about.
And
It's really
like,
good, Meg.
I
You need
missed
to see
that
it.
party. Well, I was at my aunt's funeral, I think, when that party
Oh,
happened.
okay. Sorry. Of course, everyone here has seen Alan Clark's Elephant. We did it during our Squib season. It is about an 80-minute BBC film made for BBC, all silent, about the Northern Troubles in Ireland. People getting shot over and over again,
Nope.
just on loop.
Never heard
No,
of it.
I
what?
have not seen this film.
Okay. How about probably the best movie we've covered in all the podcasts, She-Devil?
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yes.
What?
Meryl
There's no
Streep and
unfortunately.
Roseanne Barr.
No, there
Yeah.
is definitely misfortune
Okay.
in having seen
I thought I was here with my ladies, but I guess Andy's got a hate.
it.
So that's the year of 1989. Other things you could have watched during that year that we've covered on the podcast already.
Okay.
So it was a pretty
We
thick
have a
year.
variety. Yeah. It's,
No.
Well, who also doesn't have a one-trick pony is the director of this film. So he, Herbert Ross. This is the first film he made after his wife passed.
oh, God.
yeah.
And I think was a director of a lot of musicals prior to this. But he would also do in the 80s The Secret to My Success, Footloose, and My Blue Heaven.
Oh, my.
I think
Yeah,
that-
he did a lot of random stuff.
he would be what we would call a hack, which was our theme for this 4x4 season.
That's right.
There you go.
So I did some research.
Please.
Because I've never paid attention to who the director of this movie was because I didn't really care. But in reading about him, so he was not very nice to the actors on this film, particularly the women.
Were there other actors in this film?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Tom Skerritt.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I didn't see any reports of him being ugly to the men, but for instance, he wanted Julia Roberts to remove the mole under her eye, and she got really upset about it, and she refused to do it, and she
Good for
still
her.
allegedly still has it. But that was, he was real critical of like stupid stuff like that, and he was rude to Dolly Parton, which
The
is
legend?
which I believe is punishable by death.
I think it ought to.
He told her after a poor take, he asked her if she could act, and she said no, but it's your job to make me look like I can.
Yeah, I'm gonna just mention a few things there if you don't mind, piggyback, because I have the special edition of
what
Still
a great
Magnolias,
copy.
which has some audio commentary by the director and some deleted scenes and a 22-minute featurette that's called like Revisiting Still Magnolias afterwards, and which is between the playwright and the director.
Okay, and the
giving
playwright
commentary.
was one of the little brothers, right?
He was actually the pastor.
Well, yeah, in real life,
Oh,
I mean,
yes and yes.
yes, both, yes, and
Okay.
in real life, the writer, his sister was Shelby. In the movie, the writer was the priest.
He played the. Yeah.
Oh, he played the priest. Oh, so he put
Yeah.
himself in. Okay.
Yeah, he was in one of
They like to do
the
that.
fuckheads who put
Ice down.
explosives
Or,
on an arrow.
Oh,
So
the fireworks. To
Yeah.
get the birds
Yep.
out of the
yeah.
To get the birds out.
Mm.
So
Daddy, it's time. It's time. Sorry, not sorry.
is there a I know there's like drugs like reverse drug effects. Is there like an anti-giggling drug that we might need that this episode?
I don't
Never want to
know.
experience that. drug.
Tickled pink.
Well,
A
we are.
sedative, maybe.
Pink is our signature color.
It's what is it? Blush.
Blush and
Blush
bashful.
and bashful.
Yeah.
Two shades of
Very
pink.
different color shades of pink.
One's much darker than the other. Deeper than
That's in the remake as well. Like, so the remake is pretty much this film taken as the source. But yeah, to that, Dolly Parton had never. So according to the director Ross, that Dolly Parton never really had a role outside of playing herself. So this is the first time that she would not play
But
herself.
that's not true.
That's
I don't
not
think that's
true at
true
all.
either.
That's
What
not
about
true
9 to
at all.
5?
9 to 5.
Exactly.
Exactly. And the best little whorehouse.
Well, but
Oh,
she's kind of
yes.
playing her Dolly.
No, but not. I mean, no, she's not. Like,
She's playing a
That's-
madam at a cat house in Texas, and we all know she's the queen from Tennessee.
exactly.
Wow. Okay.
So he's just
I
wrong.
guess.
He had not done his research, and he's wrong.
I know that Dolly Parton was upset with the costuming for the funeral scene
Oh,
because she typically did not wear anything that elegant. So she wanted to wear something less nice.
Hmm.
And
A
he
little more
said, no, you
country.
look fabulous in that. You need to be in that.
well, she did look fabulous in that, but she should be allowed to wear whatever she wants.
Well, maybe not on a... maybe there should be continuity.
Well, but she's
And-
playing a woman who supports her husband by running a beauty shop out of her carport.
Yeah.
So, I
it
mean,
makes sense that she wouldn't wear something too nice. Does she support him or what?
the last
he's
nice
like a-
thing he did was closing this carport so I could support us. Is that
Yeah,
the line?
exactly.
I don't, okay, so cards on the table. I've watched this movie once and once with commentary. So
You're
will
at a
not.
disadvantage
I
when it
am
comes to
de-
words.
I am at a disadvantage for plot and quotes.
We'll carry
Thank you. So Andy, what? Anything more on like that turmoil on the set?
Well, yeah. So, another comment about it was that, he had lost his wife recently, a couple years before the film came out. So probably shortly before they were actually filming it. And Shirley MacLaine admonished him for behaving badly since her death. And, was like, just because your wife died, we know you're upset, but like, quit treating us like shit. So
Good for her.
yeah. And then he did work with like Sally Field again later on the movie Soap Dish. And she almost wouldn't work with him because of how rude he was on Steel Magnolias, but he was like, give me another chance. I want to make it up to you. And they actually got along fine, but she had a stipulation in her contract that if he started acting a fool, that he could be demoted or fired. Because she wasn't putting up with that shit anymore. And I think that's also a queen move.
What? Are you sure about that? Because he didn't mention any of that on the DVD
Of course he
commentary.
didn't. He wouldn't.
Uh,
But yeah. So
apparently, it was hella hot, being the South when they were shooting. But they
Mhm.
shot it all in location. I mean, they shot it in the town
In
of the
Natchitoches,
playwright.
Louisiana. Yep.
Never been.
Never been?
I have been there.
I've been to Louisiana.
Yeah.
It's not brag. I'm just
Humble brag.
Humble brag. I've been to Louisiana.
I've been to Natchitoches, and I actually have been there at Christmas time.
Is
I
it
didn't
as
get to
good
go
as
to
it
the
was in the movie?
It is. I didn't get to go to the festival. They really do have a Christmas festival every year, but they have these light displays because they're right on. I want to say it's the Red River, but I'm not 100% sure. They're on a river in that town, and so they put these big light displays up by the river, so it kind of reflects off the water, and it's really pretty and cute. And I saw the house. There were two houses used in the filming one of them is right there, I think, at the riverfront that is now a B&B. I'm not sure where the other one is, but I saw the one that is now being used as a B&B.
Are you talking about for the interiors?
No, that one, I think that's the one that was used for the exterior, maybe. The one that's now used for as a B&B.
Because it
And
seems
then
like
they used a different one for the inside.
It seems like in the opening, with Daryl Hannah doing like at undercover, like, kind of like doing a monster. I'm sorry, the movie Monster, like a transformation into like homely or less attractive woman. You think no?
Yeah, no, yeah.
I mean, it seems like this is also in addition to like, according to the director Dolly, if I could use her first name, as a role, doing a role outside of like what she would normally do, having to maybe act a little bit more than in previous acting. Daryl Hannah really wanted to have this role to get away from being like a sex pot, or have a role that's more about acting than it is just like being super attractive.
A little bit more substantive.
Yeah. And she almost didn't get it because they couldn't picture her as Annelle. So and Thomas, maybe you're about to say this, but
oh no.
She said, all right, bet. And so she left and came back the next day dressed as homely Annelle. And it was so convincing or confusing. They didn't recognize her and they almost didn't let her into the audition.
Oh my God, I love that.
So she got it because she's like, I can act. Look at this. So
is that method?
It sounds like it.
Yeah. Well, I think, one of the fun things about this movie is that each of the acts are centered around a different holiday. But if you also pay attention, each of the acts are centered around a different Annelle. Like she has evolved in between each and every scene.
That's true.
Going from wild Mardi Gras girl at Christmas time back to praying at the drop of a hat over gossip. And then she's having her wedding shower and then she's having her baby. So it's just very the life cycle of Annelle as well.
But I guess because this movie covers 3 generations of women, she's like the younger generation as well, still trying to find herself.
Yeah, she and Shelby.
So that would make some sense. The movie originally opened, and this isn't part of the deleted scenes on the DVD, I'm sorry, or Blu-ray, or whatever you might have at home. But apparently they shot a scene with her getting ready in the morning before she starts walking. So it's maybe that's where they would start to roll the credits. But in watching the dailies, were like, she's too attractive, like getting dressed. Like they shot it as you probably would in the 80s of her like in her underwear or something. And like she has too much of a figure, looks too nice for this role. So they cut that to just her walking.
You know what they did is they saved it for Pretty Woman, because isn't that how that one opens? Is Julia Roberts getting ready to go out for the night? I think it is.
Maybe, yeah.
I think it is. And she
So
starts in her
they just
underwear.
swapped her for...
Yeah. I said, actually, we'll save that for later. Save that for Julia for, I don't know, in about 3 years. And they did.
We've covered Pretty Woman on this podcast, but I wasn't part of that.
Oh,
alas.
That's a shame. Well, if you want to remix it, I'm available.
Okay. But movies that we have covered that have some of the actresses from this, MacLaine is in Two Mules for Sister Sarah and Postcards from the Edge.
Oh, both are very good.
And Terms of Endearment, which you may not have covered, but it has very similar theme in that she is a mother that has an ill daughter who she loses, yeah. Oh, and trivia. So when Shirley MacLaine as Weezer makes the joke about when she was younger, her friends used to dress up as nuns and go bar hopping. That's basically like she was a drinking nun in Two Mules for Sister Sarah. She was disguised as a nun.
Nice callback. That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. The movie gets half a star more. What I think was pretty interesting for her is that that's a wig that she's in. And she decided not to wear any makeup so that she would look older. And was like, basically, she's not the age that she's portraying. It's a little bit like Brimley and Cocoon playing much older.
Okay.
And Even though she did get her shoulder strained by the dog during a couple of different scenes.
Oh, I bet. That was a big dog.
It was a big dog.
I can't imagine.
And those fireworks. I can imagine.
Well, I think we might be able to talk about plot very quickly. Can either of you just give... I think this movie could be summarized in like a minute. You can summarize it in a minute, and then we'll go and we'll like talk about different scenes, right?
I think it can be summarized in a minute. Andy, do you want me to do it?
Go for it.
Try it? Okay, well, it's Shelby's wedding day, and everybody's getting ready. And then Shelby comes home for Christmas after her first wedding day, and she is pregnant. And that's scary because, the first holiday after the wedding.
Oh, I thought that she was pregnant like in the first minute of the movie.
No,
all of a
she's
sudden.
pregnant
I was like, man,
in the second act.
Okay, got it.
And that's bad because she's a very sick diabetic, and the mom, Malin, great name, is worried about the strain it'll put on her body. And guess what it does? That's my summary.
That's it? Okay, can I...
Well, what's amazing for
can
me
I
about...
maybe add to that?
Add to it. Well, I was trying to keep it under a minute.
That's one way to do that.
That's like a metric minute. That was maybe 15 seconds.
Okay, let me try.
Come on, Andy.
Yeah, okay, so it's adapted from a play, right? So we can easily just do it like in the 3 acts of the play, or like where the intermission would probably hit.
Yes. Well, this is the way I would describe the plot of this movie, is that it's about a relationship between a mother and a daughter. And the daughter has a chronic illness, and the mother loses the daughter ultimately. And that's terrible. But it's also a movie about female relationships and friendships and supporting each other, because the primary focus is on Shelby and Malin and their relationship and what happens with Shelby. But there are also things going on with each of the other women where they need to lean on each other for support.
And it's beautiful.
And to me, it was an early example of found family, because they were friends. They weren't related, but they were definitely all, they all came to the funeral. They were all there for all the major events and supporting each other and being steel magnolias, literally, because the men in their lives, for the most part, were not able to provide that kind of support. Or there was no man in their life for a while, like for Weezer. And Clairee had lost her husband. So they had to be there for each other. And I think that's the big overarching theme is, finding your family and supporting each other no matter what.
Yeah, what's wild in watching it for the first time, at least, because I'm not sure what's going on. First, Andy, you fucked up because this could have been a Christmas movie, a holiday movie that we would have covered.
You know what? I usually view this as an Easter movie.
It is an Easter movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because so much of the movie takes place
begins and ends at Easter.
Yeah, true.
So.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. It's also a Christmas adjacent movie whenever we do the Christmas.
It is.
Movies.
Yeah.
We did Passion
It's also Halloween adjacent.
We did Passion of the Christ.
Oh my God.
For our last one.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, exactly. Julia Roberts, they were looking and hoping for Winona Ryder.
Oh.
But Winona Ryder was a little too young, a little too high school.
That would have been so weird.
It would have been weird.
I don't see that at all.
No, but Winona Ryder was destined to be in Mermaids, so she could not have been Shelby.
Yeah, she was too young at that time.
She seems to be, it feels a little bit like a two-hander at first, with really being like Sally Field and Julia Roberts, because that's the driving drama of the movie. Mm-hmm. But there's also the pairings like of Dolly Parton and Daryl Hannah, and then of course the Shirley MacLaine and Olympia Dukakis relationship, which really like hits in the final part after the funeral. But I'm watching the movie and I'm like, oh, is she being the Julia Roberts, the Shelby role? Is she going to die from like having a baby? And she has a baby and it's there. I'm like, okay, well, cool. And then she dies later. Like they pull the plug. Like it is a movie that has not do not resuscitate, but like
Yes, make sure
end
you
of
have
life.
an up-to-date advance directive.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, and her husband's a lawyer, so she probably had one.
Probably.
But then I look at the clock, and I still have another almost 30 minutes of movie left. And it's not a long movie. So like the first 2/3 of this movie are that, but the last of it is life continues.
Life continues.
Mhm.
And that's where I really felt like I was like, oh, this is really about all these women who for some reason aren't talking about a man when they're talking about it to each other on
Can you
screen.
imagine that that's not the topic? That's
Wow.
wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. I
Gosh,
mean, a
let's
little
get
bit
back to that
sometimes,
too.
but yeah.
Well, so in the play version, there are no roles for male characters at
I
all.
love that.
Right? And so they talk about the men in their lives, but you never see them. So,
and
I
when
thought
you
that was
do see,
interesting.
and to your point, Andy, is when you do see the men in this, they're unable to like process things or take charge or
Mhm.
be there, except for I would say Dolly Parton's husband, where she finally is able to connect with him at the funeral time. Whenever he's like, "What's this?" She's like,
Eventually.
"It makes you pretty." Or what does she say?
Oh, yeah, because he's playing
Oh.
with the wax.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Does this tie go? And that's really sweet that he shows up.
Right, because he hadn't been. So,
But I have a bone
I'm
to
not going to
pick
give
with
him that much credit because
No.
it took them the entire movie to leave the house, basically.
And let me raise a hand and say, what does he give her at the end? More fucking work.
More work, right?
How does it give her more work?
He opens a Truvy's West. So
She's
now she has to
chained.
manage two bars.
That's
She's
right.
a chain.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, now, like, we'll give him a little bit of credit. He was on an offshore oil rig for a little while, so he was doing that.
Well, that's my
Yeah.
understanding. Was
And
that
he
he
was a
was
contractor.
working,
He
and
finally
he just-
got some work.
yeah.
And so we don't see him on screen because he leaves to go for long periods of time to do
Yeah.
that. But my understanding of like the Dolly Parton concern around is that he's not very emotive and doesn't express things. And so
Mhm.
when he expresses sympathy for the lawyer survivor, Jackson, thank you, played by Dylan McDermott, of like television fame, probably. She's able to see that he does care about her. He just doesn't say it.
Right.
And he has this empathy because he's thinking like, well, fuck, what happens if my wife, Dolly Parton, Truvy, died?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He would have to work full time again.
Yeah.
I don't think that's, and I don't know if she supports them, to be honest. I think it's probably,
Well, she was until he got work.
okay.
He wasn't working. He was laying around watching TV and smoking
True,
cigarettes.
but you don't work on those, it's like deployment for a lot of those.
Yeah, but
jobs.
but he was not originally working on an oil rig.
Right, he was a contractor.
that
Lost a
built
bid.
houses. And he couldn't get a bid because he had to rent all his equipment. So he was not working. And then I think he must have decided, because that's a very Louisiana thing that men know, and women could do it too, that there are jobs on the oil rig. But the downside is that you are away from home for weeks at a time. So he must have finally broken down and said, okay, I'm gonna take a job on an oil rig because I need the money. But I just won't be here for a while. And
So now I'm thinking about it. Okay, so two things, and this has just occurred to me, so I'm excited. It's the sun. I'll get to why I'm excited. So, like you said, Andy, there is no men in the play. The play also doesn't leave the beauty shop.
Mhm.
So all the scenes that you see outside of it, including the sequence of Shelby dying and of the Festival of Lights that you mentioned, the Christmas time, having seen it on IRL, Andrew, and the wedding itself, all these things are alluded to, but you don't see. They're between these acts, and including the end, whenever there's the rushing off to go deliver the baby, but Daryl Hannah's baby, who's probably also going to be called Shelby, whether it's a boy or a girl,
Right.
which is really nice.
That's really the way it should be.
That son like disappears from the movie, and I was like, why the hell was he in the movie? And then I'm watching the end, and they like put
Of course, he's at the church picnic with his motorcycle. Right?
and so the
Why
end of the
wouldn't it
movie
be?
rolls its credits over them going to the hospital. And it's like life continues, right? There's
Mhm.
another generation, things move on. But I think the only reason that I don't think he's in the play. I think the only reason he's in the movie at all is that they seed him in the very beginning of being a motorcycle person and having like a girlfriend who has more tattoos. There's probably a line around
all
that.
her tattoos are spelled correctly.
Yeah.
So that he could take the kind of milquetoast husband who likes to drink beer, who Daryl Hannah's really upset about. Sandy, to the hospital on the back of his hog.
Sandy's so confused. He doesn't know whether to scratch his watch or wind his butt.
That's right. Yeah, that's funny. I didn't really think about that until now. But yeah, we just used him for his motorcycle.
And just to be clear, I have the IMDb quotes page up in a tab that I could flip over to.
Are you checking them off for me?
Meg just comes in
filling up your
cold.
bingo card.
This is all from the dome. She's like not referencing anything for all these quotes.
Yeah, no.
We don't need to.
I'd rather walk on my lips than talk about somebody. But...
Well, if you can't say anything nice, come sit next to me. That one I have memorized because I'm going to use that.
I use that all the time.
I love you more than my luggage.
But speaking of, I mean, there are a lot of good one-liners in this movie and a lot of good Southernisms that really are the way we talk about things and people. We always preface, we're about to say something negative about somebody. It's like, I'm not trying to be ugly, or I'd rather walk on my lips than talk about somebody, but, and then you talk about Janice Van Meter and her dress being too tight. And then
we say, bless her heart.
Yep. And then we say, bless her heart. She didn't put lycra on those thighs when she left the house this morning.
It's like two pigs fighting under a blanket.
Right.
Oh, no girdle on that wedding.
No girdle on that one.
So a lot of those dancers, all the dancers, as much as could be done, the movie brought in locals.
Oh, yeah.
And that is the local Piggly Wiggly. Remember the ladies are
Drum loves pork and beans, eats them with everything.
Clairee, this is just supposed to be a gesture.
She's piling the cart with cans of pork and beans.
Okay, if we're going to talk about food, how are they going to make those red beans and rice in time?
Well, it freezes beautifully, but the beans do have to soak overnight. Yeah. Well, but they
didn't get in a fight, and she's like, I don't have time to do that.
They didn't have time to do it.
But he's like, we'll make them anyway.
They made it work. You
Made it work.
Movie magic.
You know what? They might have gotten canned beans instead of
they
dry.
sent Sandy back out to the store. But if we're going to talk about food, let's talk about the Easter eggs at the front end of the movie. And that tower of stacked up Easter eggs that they tried to put in the trunk of a car.
I want to try to understand what the thinking was there. Why did they think that was going to...
Oh, yeah.
That was never going to work.
That actually, why? Why didn't you put them in the back seat as well?
Well, I mean, they stack them up deeper than the trunk is.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Were they going to bungee cord it or just hope for the best? I don't know.
It really is so great.
That is so many eggs. I don't know. Are they hard boiling them, or are they making them like cascarones? Or are they blowing out the yolk?
No, I think they were boiled. But it was a lot. I mean, I'm like, in this economy, you would never.
You would never.
But back then, eggs were cheap. So.
We used to throw them in houses.
Wow, they were that cheap.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that is something that the pandemic fucked up for a little while, is you couldn't toilet paper people's houses.
It's that and egging. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we digress.
Well,
right.
I just want to digress real quick to say the Linzer for this, the person who shot it, the cinematographer, John Alonzo, would also do some movies we've covered on the podcast, including Scarface, and an often alluded to Harold and Maude, and Bad News Bears, and Chinatown.
Oh, Harold and Maude.
Great movies, all of them.
And so this is a well-shot movie.
It's a beautifully shot movie. And it's got a lovely score, and it's very 1989. And
I love the score.
The score is beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice.
The fashion is amazing. The hair is great.
Well,
the hair is great.
Well, the fashion, interesting. That all that was bought locally.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I bet it was.
And so the costuming, they really just went in and tried to fight as much as they could to imitate the people in the town. And they spent 2 weeks rehearsing everything before they ever started shooting. They were embedded, so they were trying to really soak up the vibe for this film.
Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm. And I believe they all stayed at a Holiday Inn there in the town. And Dolly she had her own place for a little bit, but it was too easy for like photographers I don't know how much paparazzi is in Natchitoches, but people were able to like photograph her, at her place. So she moved back to the Holiday Inn.
Well, I don't know how long they were in the Holiday Inn or when this would have happened, but one of the things that Ross mentions is that for the trailer setup, because he wanted everybody to feel fairly equal on set, he would move who was in the lead trailer. They would move the trailers around so nobody was number one for more than like a week during shooting.
Yeah.
So
well, the trailers were just for in between shooting, though.
Oh, I got it. It's staying overnight. I got it.
Yeah.
Got it. They weren't that.
I didn't know that.
They weren't that local.
Right. Yeah, no, I didn't know that, but that is interesting.
And the same choreographer from Footloose, which I believe Ross directed, or at least helped out on, did the Texas 2 stuff for the dance.
The reception. Yeah, I love that. It's like, oh, they had like people who could really dance at the reception. Of course they did. Because there probably are people in that town that know how to do that stuff.
Yeah, that one couple clears the dance floor at every wedding.
Mm-hmm. Can we talk about the food at the wedding, particularly the bleeding armadillo cake?
It's not lunch.
Andy and I agree on one thing: the groom's cake.
I think it's endearing that his aunt,
Aunt Fern,
makes it, and they have it in the wedding.
In the carport. And
it does seem okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, okay, true. It does seem like I didn't realize there was a groom's cake. We didn't have that fancy of a wedding whenever Lee and I got hitched. So I guess that is a thing. Or is that a thing in the South?
It is. Apparently I think it may just mainly be in the South, because Ken had never heard of that either, and he's been married like 5 times. So
Henry VIII or something, right?
Something like that. But no, yeah. And I would say that in this day and age, a cake shaped like an animal, even an armadillo, would not be unusual. But back then, weddings were mostly more traditional, and the groom's cake was usually like chocolate, whereas the bride's cake is always white, But yeah, so for that time, a bleeding armadillo, a cake in the shape of an armadillo that's made of red velvet and gray icing, would be really tacky and out of place. But now, I mean, there's a magazine from Mississippi called Mississippi Magazine, and every year they do a wedding issue where people pay to have their wedding coverage in that magazine, and it's anywhere from 1 page to some people have several page spreads, and you see a lot of different types of groom's cakes, and they're usually either hunting themed, whiskey themed, or whatever college they went to. So it might be something shaped like a bulldog if they went to Mississippi State, or things like that. So nowadays you see all kinds of stuff, but back then I think that was really out of the ordinary.
Well, Anne Boleyn had 6 fingers.
What happened to the other 4?
Who's Anne Boleyn?
Anne Boleyn. While she's on the toilet, she is sharing this fact too. That's
I love that. Yeah, that's so real.
Well, I feel like MacLane's pretty like one of the things I like about it is just getting a mustache waxing.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm. You got to get that,
and then showing it on camera. Like just it's not a look. Normally, when dudes are waiting to see like a look behind the camera, they want women showering in the locker room if they're straight, right? Like no, it's a look behind the curtain. Like maybe the first time you ever saw a urinal, right? Like it's an insight into a world that a male audience doesn't necessarily have of what it looks like, especially in 1989 and and these beauty products.
Have you never seen your wife wax her lip?
No, I don't think she needs to.
We don't all need to do that. But as we get older, though, maybe. And, she was supposed to be an older lady.
Well,
everybody's different.
Everybody's different. And don't be ashamed of your mustache, ladies, and don't be afraid to wax it. Makes you pretty.
Or grow it out.
Or
grow it out,
Yeah.
put beads on it, whatever.
There is no such thing as natural beauty.
There is no such thing as natural beauty, though.
That's from the movie.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. Speaking of the wedding, they like a lot of the deleted scenes. I wouldn't ever buy the DVD. You're not, Andrew. I know you love this film, and for some reason you don't have any physical media of it.
I did, but I don't have like a Blu-ray now, and I need one.
Well, I don't know if you need this one necessarily if you're getting it for the special features, unless the Criterion Collection comes out with it or something, because all the deleted scenes are basically just trimmed scenes.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
It's not anything really new or surprising. It's not, like I said, the scene that they originally had for opening it, they didn't even include as part of the deleted scenes. It's just things that are extended a little bit longer. Like at the wedding, they show the frat brothers like in costume a little bit more and have an explanation. That's just what his frat does, what the groom's frat does.
Oh, with the condoms on the getaway.
Oh, can we talk about something that doesn't age well from that I noticed this time and the millions of times that I've watched this movie?
And only this time, or you've watched it every time you've seen it?
No, I don't think it registered with me quite as much as it did this most recent time.
What you got?
Is that a lot of the groomsmen are dressed in Confederate
stuff
uniforms.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I did not like that, and I didn't remember that, but that didn't age well.
No, it didn't.
I don't remember that in the remake.
I doubt it was in the remake.
Oh, stop.
I really doubt it was in that remake.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit that was cut out. They have a little bit more of the father and mother of the bride just relaxing after, like just having a few moments of just exhalation after their daughter's sent off.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And like the house being trashed and other things, which it makes sense. They just showed us like, it seems like these are the scenes that they trimmed after test audiences and after, like, it's just part of like whatever reason they decided to print it. And then the movie was 2 hours long and you need to trim it down to whatever it is, like an hour 52.
Yeah.
So we got rid of that conversation.
But it's not like any major scenes. It's not like, for me, there's two different films in Jacob's Ladder due to the whole sequence they cut out towards the end.
Well, honestly, one reason I want a hard copy of this film is because it's becoming harder and harder to hold on to streaming versions, even if you pay for them. So, that's something Ken and I have discussed, is like, it's really worth it if it's your favorite movie or whatever to just get it on some kind of physical media, because you never know when Amazon's just going to pull it, or Netflix, or whatever, where you're not able to access it. And in the case of Amazon, because I know there are movies, and still Magnolias may be one of them. I thought it was, but maybe they pulled it. I don't know. I have bought movies on Amazon so that I could have them like in my library, and there's, that's not a guarantee. So I do like having physical media for that reason.
You have a long-term rental, basically. If you have
basically, yeah.
If you have, like, if you're getting something through Kindle, or Kindle not being gender, but that Kindle, it's a device. It's a reading device. It's like a white paper.
You're the only
device.
one who's confused.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, we know what a Kindle is.
You were looking at me like, what the
I know you think
hell?
we don't know how to read, but we do.
What in the cornbread?
Yeah, so I think, and all that depends on who's distributing, who owns the rights, because this originally was a TriStar Pictures, and they, the same year, would go over to be owned by Sony. But this year in '89, and I got excited. I'm always excited when I see the TriStar logo show up. They also did Glory, that Civil War epic. Great movie. And Look Who's Talking, which...
Good movie.
It's a good movie.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Two of my favorite Scientologists, and Bruce Willis as a baby.
Bruce Willis as a baby. I want to talk a little bit more about Clairee and Ouiser, because
yes,
Candy,
please.
This is us. This is all of us.
Let's talk about Clairee and Ouiser.
Yes, please.
Because that's all of us.
Because that's all of us. It is.
It's almost all of us. Yeah. Well, I think, it's, and Meg, tell me if you feel differently, but, I definitely was entertained by them, but did not identify with them, obviously, when I saw it as a teenager, but the older I get, the more, and like now, I'm like, even though they're older than us in the movie, but I'm like, oh my gosh, that's totally, and that's going to be us, as we grow old together as friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you have like 4 friends, and I think that's like you fight over who's who in Sex and the City, or who's who for Ninja Turtles, or who's
which character in Sex and the City do you identify
with? Miranda.
Yeah, that's on point.
That's the first name
Are
that
you
came
trying
to me.
to-
I was trying to remember.
You're just trying to remember it.
I've seen one of the 2 movies or one of the 3 movies, however many there are.
Are you trying to cast me and Andy and several of our lady friends as characters from Steel Magnolias?
Well, there were 4 of you who watched this recently for the pod.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that I think everybody's going to fight for the same person, or at least I would, because
I don't think we need to fight. I think Andy
I would be
and I
happy to
are-
be any of them.
Exactly. I think Andy and I are equal amounts of Weezer.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think Lee's a little Clairee.
Yes.
Which one's this?
Olympia Dukakis. And I think I'll take it. I'm a little Annelle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. I don't know that Megan is Truvy.
No, Megan is probably a little Malin and a little Clairee. Yeah.
It's going to be a pie chart, so this won't translate.
So
to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So
what
there's elements.
there are elements, but I can absolutely imagine walking out of a dinner with Andy and being like, "Walk me to my car. You walk me to my car. Who's going to walk me to my car?
It's just over there.
You've got the flashlight. You've got the flashlight.
I read the papers. Is that close? Is that the quote?
You read the papers.
You read
know
the
what
papers.
goes on.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I can absolutely imagine us having that conversation. I can absolutely imagine us having like the scream and yell until you cry at the funeral, and you know, we'll sell T-shirts. I hit Meg Hennigan.
I slapped Weezer Boudreaux. I identify with Annelle, and I knew a lot of people growing up that went through those, that went back and forth from being like wild child to straight-laced little Baptist girl,
because
and
they
then back to wild child,
or may not be married to a man who may
not
be a dangerous criminal.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I think a lot of us that were raised in the church, we may have started out trying to be good little Baptist or Methodist or whatever kids, but then, you're a teenager and you want to rebel and act out. And so then you have your wild phase, and then you go back to, I need to I feel guilty about all that stuff that I was doing. I need to straighten up. And I went through that. And then I saw friends, and not just females, because I have a male friend who I saw this in college. He, one day he's like president of the BSU, and next thing I hear, he's, hooking up with everything that moves and
drinking everything but his shoes
and smoking everything but his shoes. Yeah. And, so I just think it's a common identity crisis that is maybe a little unique to the Bible Belt, of, people trying to figure out who they really are, because a lot of us are kind of forced to go to church, and like where I grew up, and in a place like Natchitoches, that is one of the only ways to be social with people your own age is through church activities, because there just isn't a lot of other stuff going on. So, yeah. At
the same time, Weezer is, and this will get to when we get to reactions, like one of my, I guess something I bump up against watching the film, but for Weezer, she's like, I'm not religious. I don't go to church. And then she will, whenever her, the guy with some of the best reactions.
Owen Jenkins.
Owen, man, Jenkins. That guy has riz. I don't know what.
So cute.
He says like 5 words in the whole movie, but he is adorable.
Well,
hey, Weezer, remember me?
and then we all do the little handshake. Yeah. Yeah. But, so this points back to what Andy was just saying about church being the place. But Lisa doesn't go to church to commune with her Lord. She goes to church to gossip with her neighbors and talk to her friends.
But she rarely goes, is my understanding. So it's not a point of contention, really, in the film, it seems like.
Well, if your man's singing in the choir, you go to church.
Yeah.
Or
and I would also say in Louisiana, it's a little different, especially the further south you go. Now, where Natchitoches is, that's more like Mississippi in that there's a lot of Baptists and Methodists and Presbyterians and some Catholics. But, of course, southern Louisiana, New Orleans area and all that is very Catholic. But I think that there's maybe a little more tolerance for people that are either a different religion from whatever you grew up with, or you're not very religious. I think there might be a little more tolerance for that in Louisiana than in Mississippi or other southern states, just because there are so many people from different backgrounds that it's just kind of expected. But I still bet that if you were to move to Natchitoches, within a week, someone's going to ask you if you have found a home church. So,
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit different than my upbringing and, the aughts in Texas. Hey, you got to have one Gen Zer on your pod. To go, just to tie a bow on the idea of who's who as far as characters. From an article in Guns and Steel, our favorite magazine. Are you familiar with this magazine?
No.
It engages its audience across print, digital, and social platforms by celebrating the passions and stories that define the modern South. It's been going on for
You mean Garden and Gun?
Oh, what did I say? Guns and Garden?
You said Guns and Steel.
Oh.
Guns, germs, and steel.
Okay.
I know Garden and Gun. Okay.
Garden and Gun.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
I thought you were talking about some guns and ammo magazine. No.
Well, I guess it's hunting and AR and gardens, AK-47s, AR-15s, and
roses.
And roses.
And camellias.
What does this magazine say about steel magnolias?
Well, there is a article, it came out in 2017. It was 30 years of steel magnolias, an untold story that became one of the most beloved touchstones of Southern culture. Anyhow, they're interviewing the playwright, and Harling says, I've never told a living soul who Weezer is based on. After the play had some success, and everybody from, how do you say the name of the town?
Natchitoches
went up to New York to see it. I was really worried because Weezer's such a crotchety old curmudgeon. And lo and behold, every woman in town was saying, he based Weezer on me.
She's a great character.
It's a badge of honor. Who wouldn't want to be Weezer?
Ken and Post, actually, because that guy's, I guess, Southern, even though he's an actor. This is his first real work. Would you go back and post and apply the Andy filter to my voice so I sound a little bit more Southern? Just give me the same treatment you give her.
Shoot, I had a point that I was.
Okay, so everybody wanted to be Weezer.
Everybody seemed to be want to be Weezer.
But she's amazing. She's hilarious, and she's got it figured out. She doesn't go to movies because they're full of sex. She doesn't go to plays because they're crap.
She can nap at home for free.
Wow.
It's such a good line, and I'll never get it right. Yeah. Can we talk now about Julia Roberts' haircut?
Oh.
Wig that she used in Hook later, maybe?
God.
That's what I said. Yes.
Really?
Oh, she saved that as her Tinkerbell wig.
I mean, it looks like it. That is the worst.
I think everybody
haircut.
looked like they were going to cry when they turned that look around to the mirror.
Yeah.
Like Shelby looked like she was going to cry. And poor Truvy, she did what she was asked to do, but damn, that was
why was she asked to do that is my question.
That haircut, is that what killed her?
It is. I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
The Lord would have saved her if she had kept those curls.
She's like Samson. She needed that hair. Okay.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was sad.
I thought watching the movie, and maybe this is because I was coming hot off of the Odyssey, that the dog was going to die. The Saint Bernard. I was like, I didn't realize. I was like, it's iffy if the diabetic is going to die.
I don't think Andy and I would love this movie as much if the dog died.
No, I would. Okay, I know one thing I was going to say. I've seen this movie so many times. I can't ever get through the funeral scene without crying.
Yeah.
And if the dog died, that would just be another thing that I would never get through without crying. So I'm glad that I can only handle one big ugly cry per movie.
Yeah. Speaking of killing some dogs,
let's not.
Right?
Well, I think we might have arrived at reactions.
Oh, are we at reactions?
I mean,
now?
Finally,
are we allowed to react?
I mean, we've talked about the food.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about the holidays,
the music, and the hair.
We got the name of the publication correct.
Yes.
So I guess, Andrew, do you like this movie?
I love this movie. And I would say it is highly, highly recommended viewing for really any woman, regardless of where you're from, but particularly Southern women. I just think it's part of the canon. Like, you need to know it. You know, you just need to be familiar with it in case somebody says something about, from it, or you need to be able to recognize that.
Okay. So I think I've mentioned before, like, I hadn't seen this. And it maybe came out around the same time as Fried Green Tomatoes. And so I don't know. I haven't seen that either. These are like,
yeah, that was a couple years later, I think. But that's also a great
female friendship movie
of
the South.
Because I've definitely seen Thelma and Louise.
Oh, who hasn't?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What else do you put in this category?
Well, I don't know. I mean, those two are kind of like synonymous in my head. Magnolias in this, and so it won't be anymore. Like, because I've seen one of them,
mm-hmm.
but I see those two. Like, if you told me that somebody steals a parking spot in Still Magnolias, I'd be like, okay, I believe that. But that's like,
face it, I'm older and I have better insurance.
Yeah,
that's a great movie.
That's like the only thing I really know about that movie necessarily.
I offer you, you should definitely watch Fried Green Tomatoes. A couple of reasons. First of all, they kill a man and eat him.
What?
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Wait.
Spoilers.
Second of all, the kid who loses his arm was my next door neighbor in Georgia for 5 years. Grayson Crick. Yep, he was famous on the school bus.
Oh, wow.
Wait. So the woman who hobbles an author in Misery eats somebody in Fried Green Tomatoes?
No, we're not going to tell you anymore.
I'm not going to tell you anymore, but I will watch it with you. But I would also love to throw into this lady friendship circle movies is The Witches of Eastwick.
I was going to wonder Practical Magic.
Magic. Maybe a little, but Mermaids,
that's
definitely.
Much later. It's like
that's
90s.
More family. But Mermaids.
Oh, Mermaids.
Mermaids is so good.
Oh,
Witches of Eastwick has, I think that's directed by the same director as the Mad Max movies. I think
they're so parallel. I would believe that. Yeah. No, I would. I would. But these movies about female friendship, they're just so important to us because it wasn't, I don't think, emphasized enough for us as children how important it is to have your lady group.
Mm-mm.
And I said, gosh, in the last 2 years, that the difference between growing up to be the Golden Girls and Grey Gardens is friendships.
Yeah,
is
totally.
The friendships that will keep you grounded.
Not isolating yourself.
Yeah. Put that on a t-shirt and sell it.
So I love this movie, Meg.
I love this movie.
You love it?
I love it. Of course I do. It's wonderful.
Thomas, it sounds like you liked it. What did you think?
I think Thomas would really, really enjoy it if he watched it with you and me, Andy, because it's just so fun to laugh out loud.
Yeah.
And so I know that you cannot possibly have as much fun watching this movie alone as you could with Weezer and Clairee right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it's like whenever recently we watched for the podcast Breaking Away, the bicycle movie.
Oh, yeah.
And watched it at the Hollywood Theater. So you have a bunch of people who are paying money to go sit and watch their movie. And so I imagine that's a very different experience than watching it at home.
Yeah.
Sneaking it in whenever Lee's not around so that she doesn't feel guilty about not watching it again. I think I understand a lot of the appeal. I think the two things that I bump up with, and I would have bumped up with if I had watched this even when I was younger, because they kind of hold true. But it would be even a bump up against it harder is like the breeder mentality of it. Of I have to have a baby that's my own. I can't adopt because it's like hard or illegal or something. And if she had a felony, like it was, no, but seriously, if the felony were even like tangential, it wasn't something big, but she has a felony, so she can't adopt for that reason. It'd be a lot easier than my rich lawyer husband from a prestigious family, even though they're all hunters, and I, with a lot of money, can't figure out a way of having a baby that's not coming out of my womb.
Yeah, I agree. I don't necessarily understand that, but I did hear her, her argument when she wanted something that was her own with her sense of style, Jackson's good looks or whatever it was. But and it's weird for me because I've never felt compelled to procreate, like ever. So I hear you and I see you and I agree with you.
Yeah, I don't identify with that personally either. However, I mean, I have known people that, really felt that strongly about trying to have their own child. And I always got the feeling that, she wanted that, but I think she felt like her husband really wanted that. So she was trying to please him maybe. And she says at one point, I think it would help things a lot.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And so obviously and we'll talk about him. They were obviously already having some issues or something, and they hadn't even been married that long. In real life, Jackson remarried within 6 months of Susan, was the real name of Robert Harling's sister, of her death. He remarried within 6 months. Wow. And Robert Harling was very upset about that, and I don't blame him.
Well, that's absolutely fair.
Well, and I guess it's the hard part as well, because I imagine like in shooting this movie in the location where it's like these people knew his sister probably and knew him and at least their parents. There is this balance that must have had to happen in making it to be true to the memory, even though it's a story, and that story doesn't have to be beholden to the memory.
Absolutely.
So that's a weird, interesting balance. I wrote down at some point, I can't remember what this was related to exactly, but women mourn, men remarry.
Totally.
Because I guess you see the older women, Weezer and
Clairee.
I always remember Weezer because I like the band that I guess named themselves after her.
Her name is Louisa. It's Weezer with an O.
Yeah.
That they aren't necessarily pursuing another husband. Like they've kind of like taken their lumps and they're fine now where they're at.
He's looking at me when he says that, Andy.
What?
I don't blame him. If anything ever happens to Ken, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah. Women mourn, men move on.
Remarry.
Men move on.
They don't always mourn the way we think they should.
And
I think that is true in this movie. I don't know if it's
it's not true for every single person.
Yeah.
But one thing I wanted to say about the real life people also, I read this and I thought it like got me a little bit. So the Susan's, so the real Shelby, her mother was present for most of the filming.
Oh, wow.
And she was there for the scene in the hospital when they take her off life support. But they asked her, are you sure you want to be here for this? And she said, yes, because I want to see Shelby get up and walk away after.
Oh my God, that breaks my heart.
Right?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, and a lot of the staff in those scenes in the hospital were the actual staff that had worked with her.
Yeah.
That's so beautifully authentic.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so maybe help. I joked last episode or a couple episodes back that Andy got to pick two movies because she picked Steel, the Shaquille O'Neal movie, and Magnolia, the P.T. Anderson movie. And you had mentioned this earlier on the pod, and the name of this in French is Poton de Film? No, pretend film, The Gossip of Women.
Oh.
Which has like a different feel. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it is what the movie is at some level, is The Gossip of Women. It's definitely what the play probably is. But
that's so reductive.
And I joked with Andy that they should do a remake that's just the dudes called Steel Mags. Or just a bunch of old dudes who go around fucking things up. What is a steel magnolia?
Well, magnolia, beautiful southern flower, and
then they argue about the tree. That's where the birds are.
That's where the birds are.
Okay.
And then later they say, men are supposed to be made of steel, and they're not. We are.
Yeah.
And so it's, being a flower made of steel. And I think that's
being delicate but still strong.
Thomas, I don't know every woman in your life, but I know most of them, and you are surrounded by steel magnolias.
Mm-hmm.
Not lead petunias?
Not lead petunias.
Not lead petunias.
Okay.
That's a different movie.
Some people are.
You know what? Though? I did start imagining what prequels or sequels or, parallel movies I would love to see from this. Mm-hmm. And I definitely would like to see the Clairee and Ouiser when they're younger.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I would love to see Annelle's backstory. And then I would like
criminal ex-husband, maybe.
Yes, may or may not be. And then I would like to see Shelby and Jackson at home, because I want to hear a little bit more of the drama that led her to truly destroy her body.
Yeah,
yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I didn't get the impression. I think those are all legit. I think those are all very interesting. And in fact, one of my notes here for something I think I would have liked a little bit better about the film, perhaps, is that it's interesting that the person who's has the greatest life drama probably for this duration that we don't know anything about or see much about is the lawyer husband.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he has to continue after losing his wife. He loses his wife. His wife potentially wants to have a baby that he doesn't necessarily want to have, or we don't know. Like, that's the thing that's up in the air for me, is how much is him, if he is pressuring her to have a child, it's a very different movie than her wanting to have a child or having an expectation of wanting to have a child. And I think that movie, like a little bit darker edges there, would have been more appealing to me than what we have in this film, which is lighter. And that lightness is something that the other thing that I bump up against in this film, aside from the breeder mentality, which is fine to have. And this next thing is fine to have. It just, you have to commit to it, is it feels a lot like West Coast attitudes or coastal attitudes applied in a Southern setting.
Say more.
Well, if you're in a place where people need to know, like, if you're married in your last name, which is what they interrogate Daryl Hannah's character
what's your family name?
Yeah. It seems, and this goes to the religion part, which maybe it's different in Louisiana, but it seems like having condoms all over the car and people not being a big issue. They know what's going to happen before it happens, and then they see it. The talk of homosexuality, which I'm glad for in the film, but it's there. But it doesn't seem like growing up, and again, in a decades different and a different, not quite the South of Texas, but those don't really feel like it feels titillating. And I feel like there's what I call like a Reader's Digest sensibility to things in the South, where it's, you can hint at the thing, but you can't say the thing.
Well, it's the 80s.
And so, and
almost the 90s.
AIDS, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have, eventually Reagan can't quit denying that AIDS exists.
Right. Well, I think putting condoms on a honeymoon getaway car is probably more traditional than we think of it as. Like, a box of condoms and your frat brothers, like, wrapping up your car.
They're always going to do something lewd like that.
And so all these things that I think could cause a sensation, like the she was kicked out for doing drugs, the princess of the winter.
Oh, they were
festival.
Smoking everything but
Everything
their
but their
shoes.
Yeah. Like, there's these things that are titillating and part of gossip.
Yeah.
And part of, and it's part of that idea of like the facade, like the Southern kind of like facade of politeness and like what's supposed to be, and then you're keeping up appearances.
Oh yeah.
But there's the underbelly beneath it.
I bet there's a story there.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, I just feel like that kept it more realistic to me and a little bit edgy for the time.
Well,
which is another reason I really like the movie, is that, they weren't afraid to show like, hey, like this, I mean, people really do stuff, all kinds of crazy things, always have, but these are the kinds of things that you do gossip about in small towns, but you would only do it in certain settings. It's not something that you would just be in a restaurant and overhear somebody, loudly talking about. So I didn't think it was that unusual, but I think like talking about homosexuality and all was for that time was a little bit on the edge, like that wasn't something you saw a lot of in movies like that until that point.
Yeah, and because of that, it just seems like it's like the writing is done by somebody who doesn't live in the area. Like it's not. I think the thing that I bump up against is that it's portraying something as realistic, as putting words that aren't realistic to those characters in their mouths, like the topics that they're talking about, just as like a look behind the curtain. Maybe that's what it was like in the 80s. It just doesn't feel.
I think it just depends on who you're talking about.
Yeah, and I could see this happening, like any of this happening in the 80s, maybe in New York.
Well, if you were a Southern gay man in 1989 and Clairee was your grandmother, of course you would feel comfortable talking to her because she's amazing.
Yeah.
Right? So I think it's just a display of how trustworthy and confidant these women are for each other, that people come and talk to them about things. Like,
and also, of course, you would first frame it as that you have terminal cancer, and then
just kidding.
Hey, folks, just kidding. I'm just gay.
I'm only gay.
I have two more things I want to say, and then I'm done. Oh, I mean, I can't.
I don't believe it.
There are just two things I don't want to leave out because I thought I didn't know and thought was interesting is that so there are two different child actors that played Jack Jr. One of them was a little girl. She played the younger Jack Jr. at July 4th. And the reason you don't see, she's sitting in Shelby's lap, he is sitting in Shelby's lap, but you don't ever see her.
Yeah, because she was not in that scene.
That was actually the mother of the little girl playing Jack because that little girl got really upset when she sat in Julia Roberts' lap.
That's pretty funny.
So they just dressed the mom like that.
But we remarked on that. I think every time I've seen that movie, I've remarked on, I just don't think she was in that shot.
Oh no, she wasn't. She got to take a break. Yeah. But the older Jack Jr., like after Shelby dies and at the end of the movie is a little boy. And then the only other thing is that I've always identified with the relationship between Shelby and her mom because my mom is very much like Malin. And, thank goodness I have not had a terrible chronic illness or anything. But if I had, I know she would have been the same exact way. And she's always been a little, controlling and, wanting to protect us from anything. But also limiting, when I was younger and she really could call the shots, limited me and my sister too, from being able to experience more things as young people, which is why as an adult, I've tried to live by what Shelby says, which is I'd rather have 30 minutes of wonderful than a lifetime of nothing special.
Yeah.
Because I just think life's too short to restrict yourself so much. And if you're scared of everything, then you're never going to have much of a life. So I've always identified with that. And I think that's a nice thing to live by is just like live your life. And if you really want something, go for it. It may not work out, but I always would rather regret something I did than something I didn't do.
That's beautiful, man.
Thanks.
So
that's all I have.
I'm going to put it all on red.
Put it all on red?
I'm going to live my life like
YOLO.
Tomorrow doesn't, the next 5 minutes don't matter.
Yeah.
Because they don't.
Because they don't, yeah.
I just want to point out that this is an excellent film that a man wrote and adapted and produced, and so they're like three men were the wholly reason that this film exists.
Boo.
I would say that a woman inspired all of it.
Yeah. No. So okay, I have one more thing.
I got it. Okay.
Before she died, Susan and her brother, who wrote this, were talking, and he was struggling as an actor and writer. And she was like, "I just wish there's something I could do to help you." And then she passed away not long after they had that conversation. And, I mean, she ultimately did, because unfortunately what happened to her was terrible, but he put it, he was struggling, and his fellow actors, I think he was in like an acting class or a writing group or something. They're like, put it on paper, write it down.
Yeah.
And that's how we got this.
Yeah. He tried to do a short story and it didn't quite work out. He was like, I really need to capture the voices.
Yeah.
To do it. But I guess the thing that I did bump up against as a guy writing this, and maybe this is true for the late 80s, but there's I think two different. Oh yeah, that's other instances. So Dukakis' character, we haven't mentioned, but she buys a
radio station.
So
KBTV.
so she could be a radio announcer, a sports announcer. And I love that her and Weezer are in the locker room.
Nobody cares about that grape shit.
You can see all these butts go by. It's all dude butts, and it's just
and she pulls out her mirror so she can see behind.
Yeah, but discreetly. Yeah, it's pretty great. And I like that she's giving. I like that she's giving the commentary that she is about their uniforms.
Well, she's a color commentator, and she doesn't know that that's the. You don't talk about the play-by-play. You talk about the color of the game, and she's doing it literally on these new uniforms that may be grape or aubergine.
Grape or aubergine.
Oh my goodness! Okay,
Did you miss that?
I missed that. She misunderstood the color commentator.
She's the color commentator. That's nice that they let you talk on the radio.
So what I bumped up against there is that one of the reasons that she did that was to honor her dead husband, who really liked football games. And so she would have seen some football and know what a color commentator does. But because
football would have been on TV.
That wouldn't have been as funny.
Yeah.
True. But I'm like, okay, so as a dude writing this for a woman, I'm like, well, I don't quite like
get
that.
It wrong.
Yeah. And the other one is when Dolly Parton doesn't know what a socket wrench is. I'm like, oh, come on. That's fucking Dolly Parton. She's probably fixed
But he throws that back at her with the wax, right?
Yeah,
so she's like, I don't know your tools. You don't know my tools.
There's symmetry there.
That's true.
But I think more likely she's going to know his tools than he's going to know her tools.
Absolutely. I've been a wife.
So I think that Dolly's probably her character's probably fixed up a lot more than what would be led on or implement suggested by that comment.
She could fix your truck, but she won't because it'll mess her nails up.
Yeah, and also there's just like the feminine mystique at some level of like, I can't really say.
Well, we do sometimes play dumb.
What,
so we don't have to do things.
What's a socket wrench? This funny looking thing? Yeah.
Do people still need kidneys, right? Like that's the thing. Because I saw, I've been watching The Jeffersons, and in season 5, he gives up his kidney for like one of his friends. I was like, and it's like a pretty quick operation. And I was like surprised. I was like, that definitely seems like a thing.
Yeah, people still need kidneys. All kinds of organs.
Okay.
For sure.
Are you offering?
Well, maybe that is our closing, is if you need any organs.
We're watching Silence of the Lambs next week.
Bring a Chianti. No, next week we're back with just the dudes, unless you all want to guest talk about Bygan's Resurrection.
Andy and I are watching Fried Green Tomatoes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be doing.
You can come over if you want to.
Okay. I'd rather watch that probably than the Sex and the City sequel.
Who wouldn't? We'll make you some barbecue, Thomas.
Is that
good sauce? Secrets in the sauce.
I feel like there's cannibalism going on. Like,
not intentionally.
Okay, and then also Armie Hammer will be on that episode.
Yikes.
Hey, thank you both for letting me sit in.
Thanks for
being with
the
us.
Conversation on the rails.
Yeah, it could have gone really, really off the rails.
We could have just fired off quote after quote. We probably could have done the whole movie.
Yeah.
All right. Now, if we record for just another 50 minutes, we will be longer than the Odyssey podcast.
I can talk for another.
That's insane.
Thank you both. Thank you, Ryan, for the theme song. Thank you, Ken, for making everybody but me sound great on this episode.
All right. Alrighty.
To the next one.
Of course you can.
Space. Time. Running a temporal piston. Messing in a temporal. See how pins are moving. In space. Time. Running a temporal piston. Messing in a temporal. See how pins are moving. In space. Time. Running a temporal piston. Messing in a temporal. See how pins are moving. In space. Time. Running a temporal piston. Messing in a temporal. See how pins are moving. In space. Time.
It is the greatest movie ever.
And let me raise a hand and say, what does he give her at the end? More fucking work.
You know, I'd rather walk on my lips than talk about somebody.
Clairee, this is just supposed to be a gesture.
Anne Boleyn had 6 fingers.
What happened to the other 4?
Ken can edit things out, including dog.
Would you call those grape or aubergine?